For the sake of signal, we're gonna be here for a minute. What do you wanna do? Shall we AMA spontaneously? Name 3 hockey teams. The Stars, the Mavericks. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Pretty girl, they said. See, that's nice. Their dog wants to kill her really bad. The Stars, the Mavericks, and the Comets.
100.
Name 3 soccer teams. Manchester City, Manchester United, and Chelsea. How's Beedul? Oh my gosh, fantasy. Wait, you actually reminded me. I need to change out my QB. No, not my QB. I need to replace a wide receiver. Rice tore his ACL. So I'm gonna replace him. Comets just don't exist. Okay, but admit that's a pretty good guess for a hockey team. Beedul, will you just stay in frame? 3 basketball teams. Warriors, Kings, and Lakers. Name 3 baseball teams in Canada. I don't think anybody can do that. Name 3 goat breeds. La Mancha, Nubian, Nigerian Dwarf. Name 3 F1 teams. Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull. 3 Winter Olympic sports. Curling, snowboarding, and bobsled. Anyway, shall we Q&A a little bit while we're sitting here? 3 Nintendo characters. Mario, Luigi, and Peach. Name 3 not. I thought we were like I thought we were past this 3 thing. My favorite color is pink and Beedul's favorite color is pink. You can ask her questions too if you want. My favorite holiday used to be Christmas, but now I think it's Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. I feel like Thanksgiving is like, it's chill because it's not a gift-giving holiday, so I don't get stressed, you know, about having to give people stuff. But you still get to see all your family. I like it for that reason. It feels more like a holiday. I don't really care for Thanksgiving food. No way. Sorry. Looked like I was effing. Wouldn't Easter be the same? No. I don't know. My family doesn't all get together for Easter. I don't do anything for Easter. 5 Smurfs. Papa Smurf, Smurfette, Kevin, Bob, Stuart. Aren't those minions? No. Tell us stories? What kind of stories? Favorite bird of prey? Red-tailed hawk, probably. How big do you want to make Alveus? Interesting question. I once said to Connor that I could see Alveus eventually having like 50 employees. But the only way that's possible, obviously, is with land expansion. But down the road, I could see that for sure. And just like rotating through like a cast of streamers that are employees at Alveus. I could see that happening. We have started thinking about Twitch's donation, the TwitchCon donation, and you want a crunchy leaf? We've talked about birds of prey for a while, bringing in birds of prey to Alveus. I also, this is crazy, and I haven't talked to everybody about this, so I don't even know if this is possible or something that we want to do. No, you know what? I'm not going to tell you. No, I'll tell you, it's fine. I'm like considering using that 100K to go towards like an intern program. And I don't mean a robust one, so like don't get your applications ready. I mean like one. I think that Twitch would like to see that. And we could use the extra help without committing to another full-time, 40-hour-a-week employee. But I would be looking at local universities for that. I wouldn't like put out a public application. I don't know yet. It's something we got to talk about. Would you have an Alveus in California? If someone gave me $5 million, 10. If someone gave me $10 million and they were like, open up another location right now, I would open it in California. But California is very expensive. And to do it anywhere near LA, which is the only place it would make sense, would be insanely expensive. And permitting is a lot harder in California. 10 million is gonna get you a backyard in LA. Yeah. So I think the only places that make sense for Alveus are like Texas and California, and we can't afford California, so we're in Texas. But that's also fine, because people still come out here. We have collabs lined up, by the way. Every time I go to TwitchCon, it's like a whole networking thing, and I'm like, you like animals? You like animals? You wanna come to Alveus? So I have 3 collabs scheduled for the next 2 weeks. But I never know which ones I can say, because sometimes streamers like to keep it a secret. Beedul's looking at you.
peepoPog, wow.
If you could magically gather a real metric of Alveus' impact, what would it be? If I could magically gather, so like not realistically, if I could magically gather, I think it'd probably just be a reach stat, but reach beyond you guys. Because how many of you have like told somebody something that you've learned from my stream or Alveus' streams, or from like Alveus, or talked about one of the animals at Alveus or something? Me smile, me smile, me smile. Right, all the time. Yeah, that's what, like, I think I would love, if it was a magical stat, an impossible stat, I would love to get the reach of you guys plus those, plus who they've told, plus who those people and those people have told. You know what I mean? That would be what I want. You can use a fundraising platform to collect that data. No, that data is impossible to get. The data that I just said of the reach of every person that our information has reached is an impossible stat. Great blue heron. Can you explain why goats and most herbivores' pupils are shaped like that? Because they have really good peripheral vision. So her vision goes like this, right? And she's got a blind spot in front of her head and behind her, which is handy because she's a prey animal, so she can see a lot. We are, ow! Predators, dogs, us, pupils, tunnel vision, forward looking. Goats, horses, really good peripherals. Your opinion of Moodang's popularity. I think it's excellent for pygmy hippos. I hope that it's extending past like this one individual and people being like, wait, I love pygmy hippos now. I do think that that's like it's the ambassador model in action. I think the virality is huge. I don't love the videos that I've seen. I haven't seen the whole enclosure. The enclosure's probably okay, but they definitely like incite reactions out of that hippo. I don't love that, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen either, so. Do you think using social media to educate about the exotic animal trade can offset the damage it has caused by making people want exotics? Yeah, I actually have very strong opinions about this. I think there are a lot of people that post content that are doing like exotic animal rescue, for example, even, that post content about those animals, and then they simultaneously post a lot of messaging about how they're not pets and you don't want them as pets, but then they post videos of them like in their house and like wearing costumes and like eating candy and stuff. They post a lot of content that makes them look like pets. Like I've seen a lot of pages on TikTok where I'll see like a primate or something in someone's house, and then you'll click on the video and it's like a pet primate. But then you'll go to their page and they'll have all this messaging on their page about like, here's why you don't want one as a pet though. I appreciate that more than like, here, this is my pet, he's great, you should get one too. But I do think that it's counterproductive. I think if you're doing work in like exotic pet trade stuff, you have to be so careful about how you present those ambassadors or those animals, right? Like for example, we'll never dress up the marmosets, even if Appa would like accept wearing a hat, for example, and even though it would be so cute, right? It's just gonna make him look like a pet. There are some animals where, like, the bugs I will anthropomorphize all freaking day, because I think anthropomorphizing bugs is the key to their conservation. I think people thinking of bugs and being like, oh, he's shy, oh, he's so nice, oh, he's dating this bug. Like, I think people need that to see bugs as an animal. And the bugs are exploited in the pet trade, but not in the same way that primates are. So I will anthropomorphize bugs all day. Winnie even. You guys have seen me like put my hat on Winnie. I don't think that's as much of a problem for Winnie either. I think that's important for people to see. I would like for people to see cows more like they see dogs, for example. You know, I don't know. So it's like nuanced, but especially with primates, lemurs, monkeys, kinkajous, stuff like that are regularly exploited. I'm very, very careful about how those ones in particular are presented from our platforms online. Thoughts on Moodang? I think Moodang is very cute. I think she's, I would argue that she's harassed some, but it's also, she's with her mom, so hopefully her quality of life is pretty good. Do you know about Escobar's hippos? Yeah, hippos, there's a bunch of invasive hippos in Colombia. They were brought to Colombia by Pablo Escobar to his estate as kind of like a status symbol, as like, look at these, like the most dangerous animal on the planet at my estate. And then they freaking got out. So there are hippos in Colombia, but they're not supposed to be there. Somebody asked if Alveus' education would translate well to TV. My answer is no, not in the way that we do it now. Like, not this. This couldn't be on TV. My approach to education and live streaming is, I think it is the difference between watching a documentary or like reading something on a billboard and hearing somebody like your friend talk about something that they're really passionate about. Like, you're just gonna remember the latter more than the former. And I think that the informal nature of Alveus makes us better educators in a lot of ways. We do put out like pre-recorded, edited content, right? And the hope is that you reach more people that way, because people that have never seen me before would not watch the stream and like care or learn from it, probably. But yeah, it's just different. But this could not go on TV. Same with YouTube. YouTube is hard to invest in too, because if we like hired someone, for example, to run a YouTube channel and like plan, write, film, edit YouTube videos a couple times a month, that's cool. But if those videos got like 30K or 40K, it's gonna be really, really hard to recoup a salary like that. So it's hard to put all your eggs in that basket, because you just never know with YouTube. And that goes for animation too, right? Yeah, animation is so expensive and takes so long. Opinions on anthropomorphizing. I've read some believing that we've gone too far towards shunning it, that researchers can fail to see animal consciousness by trying to explain away behaviors that mimic ours, like elephants mourning and monkeys' apparent habit of staring at the sunset, which would be complex feelings. Big question. I think I just talked about this. In some cases, I think it can be good, like in cases for bugs. Like, a lot of people don't even consider bugs animals or wildlife. or like hardly even living things, honestly, right? Bugs are like a whole separate category and they don't care about them. And I think anthropomorphizing bugs is good for them, so people see them as like a living thing. I think the anthropomorphization in science can be really dangerous, because if you want to think that a monkey, for example, is feeling jealous, for example, which is like a very human emotion, that could affect how you're interpreting your data. I think it's important to remember that not everything experiences the world like humans do. And birds, right? A lot of people anthropomorphize birds of prey because they have this heavy occipital ridge and they look mad all the time. So they're like, oh, he's mad, he's upset. And that's not true necessarily, right? People put this human lens on animals and then assume their welfare based on how they look to us. You guys have seen videos of alligators with their mouth open and their eyes closed, that like god-awful reptile zoo crap on TikTok or whatever, where they're like brushing the head of the alligator and their mouth is open and their eyes are closed. That's a stress behavior in alligators. But to people it looks like smiling, or it looks like a dog panting. And so they're like, oh, he's so happy, and he's not. And so I think in that case, anthropomorphizing can be really dangerous. Anthropomorphizing can be really dangerous in domestic animals too. I've seen a lot of people that have horses and think they have this like movie relationship with their horse. And they're like, my horse would never hurt me, he loves me. And that's really dangerous too. Okay, so someone asked if like animals like have emotions that we don't have or don't know of or don't understand. I think I'm like sitting in it feels like I'm sitting in the sun. My answer to that is yeah, probably. And then I was gonna go on a rant about how I think there's this weird like misconception when we think about evolution, that like humans are peak, that like everything has evolved like up to us and we're like the top and we are like the most evolved, that like we have the most capabilities for everything, that like everything else is just behind us. But the reality is that's just not true at all. It's not linear like that. There are ants that can hold the equivalent of me hanging upside down from a sheet of glass vertically, holding an RV. There are ants that can hang upside down and hold something that's the body weight of me holding an RV upside down, right? Like, we're not the top dogs here. Like, lots of species have evolved to incredible places, doing incredible things on a much smaller scale or for very different reasons that we don't understand. So yeah, there are animals that see colors that we don't know exist. There are animals that can hear things that we will never be able to hear. And there are animals that are able to accomplish things that we never could. We have this very like centric view of how important humans are and like how evolved we are and how smart we are and how special we are. And that's just, we're not that sick.